You're a delicious espresso ice cream, and we're going to give you another yummy update coming your way. All of us are here to mog all the non-believers. We've seen, friends, Binance have posted another reference to heart on their Twitter Roonies, and I've been having some fun here saying my heart is pegged to Team Pulse Chain. So I've made these pictures. I basically called on the intern as well. How cute is this picture here? So I put these Pulse Chain logos out here. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you the picture I made, and I actually went proactive and I tagged them. Check it out. My heart is pegged to Team Binance. So this is me carrying a giant peg with a cute fluffy Highland Bull slippers, cute little fluffy slippers. So you have the Binance logo and the jersey out here looking pretty cool. And I've actually tagged them. My heart is pegged to Team Binance. What about yours? So they've been doing a lot of references, and I said, listen, the motherload will be if I just said, well, they've got to put a peg somewhere. And I thought, well, maybe the peg is hanging up washing. I go, well, what washing would it be? I know, like a Binance jersey just hanging out or washing in the field. Imagine one day they do that, though. Imagine. That's like like this ode, this type of reference that we're looking for. But yeah, if you want to see their actual post, which has pretty much got everyone talking, they did it again. This is it. Where they said, no brainer. It's always Binance. Show me what's in your heart now. And then they said, teacher, draw a picture which is connected to your heart. And it has this. So it's referencing Richard Hart. It's all Richard Hart. But we don't know, once again, we don't know. Is it the intern? Is the intern having fun, playing around with us? That's one thing we don't know. Remember, friends, we saw a fake man-made earthquake hit New York City. And like, friends, after everything I've taught you, you really think that's real? Yeah, a total organic 3.6 magnitude earthquake goes and hits New York City. Coincidentally, as the people are riling up because they won't back off from the Epstein files. It's so obvious, friends. Remember, the deep state have directed energy weapons out here. So we've been talking about them for too long. We've been talking, man, the more people keep pushing, they're going to just usher in the next big distraction. And crank it out, and they do have the capabilities to do that. So what don't they want us to know? It makes you think, what is it about it? Is it our origins? By the way, speaking of that, I think someone asked Grok or ChatGPT a question about it. They said, hey, what don't they really want us to know? Why all these cover-ups? And the AI said origins. That was it. The origin of humanity. They don't want us to know where we actually came from. I wonder why. Why? Are we all like some test tube babies? It really is like the Matrix. I don't know. What are most people doing? They're pumping it and they're mogging. Not everyone's mogging though, friends. Some people are getting mogged. This is the last thing you see before you get rugged on the fourth Soylana meme coin for the week. So obviously the Soylana LA Vape Cabal, it's just a general term, right? It's not just the public face LA Vape Cabal. It's everyone on there, man. You have a generation of Jeeting. And to be honest, man, it's just everyone, man. It's just when prices just don't go up, there's just not enough food to go around. But you're not here to follow the trend necessarily, are you? Because eventually it does switch the other way, right? If you were here to just follow infinite trends, you'd sell all your altcoins and buy the top of the Bitcoin dominance, which we know we're not here to do. I've got to show you this as well, friends. In my juicy news, I spoke about just this. This is dangerous, right? So, friends, with BTC, there's Bitcoin charting, and everyone's saying, yeah, it's going up higher, which we hope it does go up higher, and we continue higher. Remember, we've had 4 green monthly candles in a row now. So, moving on. And then there's the global liquidity fractal, which, as I've shown you, remember Cullen Talks Crypto, my friend, and everyone out here. So pretty much global liquidity is just basically all the money printing, the currency units and stuff out here. And it's a reference of them printing money, and there's a delay, and then it ends up Bitcoin hyper reacts to it. Okay. Now it's just showing that with this, if you delay this out for 12 weeks, the global liquidity fractal, Bitcoin is like following it. It's a bit of a problem though. We've now hit mainstream news. Now, friends, I've been, my freaking, the Twitter playback is just cursed. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but the Matrix is really coming, bro? Is it just me? These dog shit videos just can't actually play. Look at this, just start spinning in endless circles. I've tried on another web browser. Instead of Google Chrome, I've tried freaking Firefox. It's just absolutely trash. I have to use Windows Media Player. But let me just show you, friends. This is a dangerous warning sign of sorts. Let's listen.
One interesting correlation has been Bitcoin and the money supply. Is that integral? Like, hey, we've got the chart. It's pretty easy. You don't have to be a chartist to see.
Oh crap, man! Just like, oh man, you don't want someone who's like have 10 million people watching him saying, "Oh, this is easy. This is the easiest thing I've ever seen. Look at this. Line goes up together. It goes down together." Like, let's continue.
Okay, they kind of trade in tandem here.
Well, one thing we know is that they're going to continue to debase, and liquidity has been at all-time highs, and that's largely because we're running these massive fiscal deficits. And guess what? They're going to continue. The projections made for the rest of the year is that we're going to be basically issuing about $18 trillion worth, or $18 billion worth of debt per day for the rest of the year, for the rest of 2025. So the thing you need is the one thing immune to currency debasement, immune to inflation, and that is Bitcoin.
So, I've got to.
Something doesn't smell right here, friends. You know me as well, friends. How many times have you and I mogged non-believers when it comes to this? Something doesn't smell right. When you have one of the most popular KOLs key opinion leaders, it's Fox News, right? Coming out saying, hey, it's easy. Line goes up, chart goes up. Something don't smell right here. Man, this is just wild. So these things tend, for everyone at home as well, they always get confused. Like, why is it bad? Why is it bad? Well, as I gently remind you, it's either one of two things. See, it's always a bad sign. It's just you don't know the real reason of the domino falling. Okay, one of the guesses we have is, well, it depends what type of person you are. Some people will say the market maker now knows that everybody's trapped. There's that part, the man behind the puppet string, pulling the puppet string. Then there's just like half the time as well. It's just it gets priced in. That's it. Like every single person who was going to buy, they're like, okay, oh, there's a chart telling me to buy now. Like I was on the sidelines. Now I'm going to get in because this chart just says we're going up. It's that easy, right? That's another thing. That's another perspective to have. But, I mean, I also thought, friends, what if Ethereum takes over the correlation for the next one? I know everyone's like, no way. No, can't happen. Yeah, it can. Why can't it? Yeah, it can. Rockenegra wants it. You can do smart contracts. You have stablecoin supercycle stuff on it. Every world government wants it. You can do smart contracts on there. What can you do with Bitcoin? Nothing. Just pet rock. Okay, and they've KYC'd anyway. They got control over it. All right, they're pretty much Bitcoin maxis have sold their souls. So, yes, thinking about the future. Check this out as well, friends. There's this data I've got here for you. Look at this. See this? See how the chart's going down? This is a chart of hold time of the Soylana scum Jeet bots. The hold time, look at this. It peaked last year at 400 seconds. Yeah, what's that, like 7 minutes? 6 minutes? Look what it is now. It's down below a minute. Yeah. So that data, data shows scum Soylana grifter bots have been jeeting after less and less holding time. They used to jeet after 5.5 minutes. Now they all jeet in 60 seconds. This is just it, man. This is the game, right? Here is Jesus. Really sucks. Don't get into new projects. Stick to what you have and make it work for you. Here's Paulie Boo going, sigh my head. Wow. Yeah, man. I couldn't believe it. Like, that's the average, man. That's the average. Friends, we always see the pimple face kid and the other Soylana grifters. They're holding between 4 to 7 seconds. They're getting in. They found a way to manipulate something. But, there's been people we found on Twitter. They've tried to replicate them. So there's been one guy said, okay, I spent, one guy tried for like 3 days to try and replicate how they're making money. They're like, okay, I know these grifters are making money. Let me go make bots and let me just go see if they can do it. They couldn't, no one could get anywhere. They just kept losing. It just kept losing. They couldn't get anybody to come and buy their stuff. So it could be fake volume stuff. We don't know. It could be fake volume, wash trading. What people have said is they go, hey, what they're doing is they're laundering money, which actually makes a lot of sense. Because if someone's made $1 million, okay, what they can do is they go, oh, I lost it gambling. Yeah, so let's say they made $1 million trading, and what they can do is they buy. So they make the coin on an anonymous account. They put like $1,000 in from their $1 million account. They put $1,000 in and they rug it. So that account looks like it's making money, but it's anonymous. But the guy controls both. Okay, so the $1 million account, it's getting drained over time. He's losing to what he calls the trenches, and his own account is making money. You know, and so eventually what happens is this $1 million, like, oh, I've lost it all gambling. Oh no, I'm such a gambler. I've traded it all to zero. Just keep losing and losing, right? That's what it will look like on one side, and the other side's made money. You never know. Maybe that guy's going to go move to Dubai. Yeah, that's pretty much what everyone got. That's why if you're a world government out there and you have to do crypto laws like immediately, you have to lower the tax rates on them immediately. I'm telling you right now, look how easy it is to do that. It's just like every single person, if it just makes sense, right? Everyone just keeps trading themselves into a loss. Oh no, I've gone to zero. Oh, I'm going to go try my luck in Dubai. Wink, 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 wink. You know, they go move to Dubai 6 months later. Hey, Dubai government, I have traded my way to becoming a millionaire. And they're like, okay, your tax rate's either 0 or 5% if you're a business or whatever. There you go. Transferred. Hey, I made all my money in Dubai. There you go. What are you going to do? This government's just getting drained. You know, that's why they have to update these laws. You can't do these trash laws where you treat them like stuff. Because guess what, man? You're dealing with crypto people, okay? Because you tried to ban a lot of stuff, didn't work. They're kids, man. These people are, it's just kids at heart, okay? It's a bleeding edge. So it's whack-a-mole. Also, friends, I want to give you this update because I do love and appreciate you. This tweet came out at the bottom of the crypto bear market. NHL. Trans women are women. Trans men are men. Non-binary identity is real. This is from the NHL. Okay? The NHL, friends. The National Ham League, where everybody eats ham sandwiches. So, look at the date, by the way. It literally happened, the bottom of our bear market. November 2022. The bottom. I wonder if we're going to have an equally crazy thing at our top. Right? Thank you to Moe. I never knew the NHL did that, and I just threw up in my mouth. Hopefully it wasn't Kanye's Ham song or Hail Ham. Okay? We all love ham. Singing about ham. Pete I $1. There you go. So thank you so much. So this video, I love this, bro. Hexagon 150, Vista 5 150, bro. Just put this tweet has literally nothing to do with Pulse Chain, Pete I, Hex. First thing on his mind. Pete I going $1. I love it, man. That's edge, friends. It's edge. The world went a bit funny for a while there. Sleepy Joe and Kamala. Well, here's the thing. It didn't actually just go a bit funny. What happens is the trend is still happening. It's just that they convinced a large part of the sheep population that the trend's going to continue forever. So they just didn't shut their mouths for a long time. Now they have to go back. It's going to come back again. It is coming back. Okay, there is a very wide macro trend. This is from UFO Talk. There is a wide macro trend. I've researched everything. It's over past 100 years, we're trending towards like a unified humanity. Yeah, all of us, we're becoming more homogenized. Yeah, it is happening like that. The problem though is we don't know if it's good or bad. You have to assume it's good. Yeah, because we don't have any data on any other civilizations that have done this. You know, imagine Mr. Alien dudes. Let's say one of the Vitaliks. Let's say Vitalik goes and talks to his big commander boss. They come down. They go, listen. Normally civilizations, we have this formula, but we're trying something new with you guys. We actually don't know if it's worked before. Like that would make us. We're like, oh crap, we're literally running this thing in real time. We could just explode at any moment. You know what I mean? We have no idea, no data. We're just like monkeys in the zoo. Shout out to Mr. Nathaniel the dog, some alien stuff. An interstellar object discovered, initially thought to be a comet, later speculated by scientists to be an alien spacecraft. Yeah, friends, that's one of the psyops coming. An alien's coming from far. Also, just to let you know, friends, you know they do this on purpose to groom you and me. And I not groom as in like, you know, adult-child relationships, but as in grooming as in like desensitize you to like, you hear this in the news, they put it in the movies, so you're kind of like used to this idea, so it naturally, organically appears. It's actually, when you see it, it's very intelligent. It works. Because I run all these experiments in my head. I'm like, what would make the population not flip out? And then one of these things I've been hearing is like, like they say, something from outer space is like coming towards us. Newsflash, friends, they're actually not from outer space. It's kind of funny. They're actually just here, just in another dimension. It's just that our brains can't comprehend it. It's kind of funny. Now, crypto stuff, friends. Remember, crypto, we're still destined to pump. We are still destined to pump because look at this, man. Look at this chart. This is the percentage of 30-year-olds who are both married and a homeowner since the 1950s to now. Look at this, friends. So if you're 30 years old, you're married and a homeowner, look at this. It used to be 55%. Now it's down to literally like 10. Wow. From 55%, now you're down to just 10. That's nuts. So why is that? Just so everyone knows, you're very fully aware. Well, we got off the gold standard. Now we can just print currency. So instead of having a depression for a long time to rinse out big stuff like we're meant to have one in 2008, we're meant to have a 10-year depression. Just so you know, in 2008, friends, to wash out all the banks and everything, we were meant to be contracted GDP for literally 10 years. Yeah, that's how long it would have taken. But we didn't do that. The government was like, can't do that, man. Can't do that. What we're going to do is tax the population, print money, and then we're going to fill up the banks. We bail them all out. That was the big bailout, right? And today we're still doing the QE stuff. Okay, that debt was never really wiped out. So the percentage is tanking hard. Going all in on crypto is your only way to outgrow the house Ponzi. So we've got on the gold standard. Now they just have the money printer. So whenever a crisis comes, what they do, and actually you can actually see it in the business cycle, yes, is remember the PMI, friends? Whenever we go down, what do? We print money to get back up. Okay, we print money beyond the supply to get back up. We make things inflationary and then it bursts up. That's what they do. They try to truncate it. Okay. Obviously, there was a big problem that happened in the GFC. Look at this. This big freaking giant gaping hole happened. Okay. This is big max. So at first, interest rates were enough to help us out. But then the GFC, zero rates weren't enough. They had to start doing QE to get the economy back up. Okay. So now they have to keep printing money. But unfortunately, there's some other stuff they do as well. I know, friends, there is a, you know, I don't want to use the word conspiracy because, you know, it's pretty much true. The white race of humanity is obviously getting whitewashed and diluted. Okay. And yeah, there are some, you know, we can't say it here, but if you notice a few things, you'll notice there's some commonalities with the funding of the politicians of every country. And it's kind of funny, man. Every politician, you guys are getting funded by the same groups. We know exactly what it is. It doesn't take more than 2 seconds of research to figure it out. Not even figure it out. It's like it's like obvious. It's there. It's just written for you. And none of your population is voting for immigration. Yet for some reason, you guys are like, I know what's a good idea. Let's get 128 million Indian dudes coming on in. I've got a lot of Indian fans. 128 million Indian dudes straight to come in. Let's flood the nation here. That's just what it's very, very obvious what's happening. But I'm going to play fair's fair. The thing is, do you really want to see what happens in your country if you all stop immigrating? Now, whenever we talk, people say, but look at Poland. Poland's great. Okay. Poland, friends, has a GDP per capita of 25,000. Okay, that's okay. However, Poland, their population is only 36 million. Okay. So you can afford in your little cute microcosm in Euroland, you can afford to basically contain the issues. Okay. The rest of the world is not Poland. Okay. The rest of the world is interconnected. The rest of the world is leveraged in debt for real estate to the eyeballs in many countries. Pretty much everyone's grabbing each other by the balls, and if anyone moves, we're all yanking each other, okay? Immigration is too high in many places of the world. So look at this. This is Dublin. Shout out to my baby, it was in Dublin from 2003. Dublin, one of the safest cities in the world. And then 2024, Dublin ranks among the top 10 most dangerous major cities in Europe. So you import the third world, you get the third world. So that's the battle, right? And here's the thing, man. Look, trust me. I know where everyone's coming from. I'm just telling you, we ran this experiment in Canada, okay? In Canada, they stopped immigration. So what actually happened is, if you're curious out there, first world countries, in Canada, maple syrup land, we love our maple syrup. We love Canadians, okay? What happened was they import a lot of immigrants, and I think they just got like a real bad batch of wherever they imported them from in India, okay? And it was just in Canada where more riots and like public graffiti started happening, and it became basically unpleasant in the streets. So what ends up happening in Canada is it became too much, and people were like, that's it, this is bad, we're revolting against the system, get them all out. They stopped immigration. Within 60 days of them stopping immigration, I couldn't believe it. House prices in Canada started tanking. You can actually check it right now. Look at this. See on the right-hand side? See? As soon as they stopped it, bang. And now it's just basically, look at this, since 2025. Okay? Now, this is where we hit a weak point, all right? There's literally, you're in a tough point now. Because you might say, oh, just let it go. Look, man, you don't know what happens if every world country stops their immigration and then the house Ponzi stops going up. You don't know what happens. But I can tell you how every boom-bust cycle has happened in history. It stops growing, and then now basically, if there's a recession somewhere and there's a crack, people lose jobs, they can't pay off their home stuff. Why? Because everyone's leveraged long. They need the thing to go up. They can't afford the thing to go sideways. They're paying off interest. Okay? They need the thing to go up. If it doesn't go up in the period of time they happen, you eventually start that slow spiral downwards. And what happens is you get the negative spiral effect, which is people lose their jobs, it becomes deflationary, and things just literally start going. And then unfortunately what happens is, you know, all those immigrants that are hanging around in all the cities and stuff, well, guess what, man? They've only been in your country between like 1 or 3 years. They'll just go back to third world mode, which is, that's what happens, right? They start robbing cars. That's exactly what would end up happening, right? So Canada, they're like, oh, let's stop the immigration. Houses start going down immediately. Then you realize there's a problem. When there's home ownership all around the nation, all these people are like, oh, my houses aren't going up. And then this is where it gets tricky, friends. You know, all the US Fed talk and all these like, economy stuff out here, everything comes down to housing. The retailer, they look at their price of their home. You're like 30% home ownership, whatever in America. So everyone looks at the price of their home. If the price of the home is going up, psychologically, they feel good to spend. If it's going down, psychologically, the wealth effect is cut off. So, because then it's the funny part, right? You're not even going to sell your house anyway, but it's exactly what happens in crypto. With us, you're not going to sell your portfolio anyway, but if like our portfolios are going up, everybody just feels good to get the dopamine. Yes, it's the same thing, but their portfolio is with houses. That's for most people. That's the average person out here. So if you end up sacrificing that, you end up starting the spiral. Now, obviously, all the world governments out here, they know this, right? That's why we're doing the Great Reset, okay, with the Great Reset, because they're trying to debase everybody. Who knows what we're going to be debased into? Everybody's still holding that shitty government fiat when they're ready to done. They're killing the system, friends. They're just killing the system. Everything they do, they're just killing the system faster. Hey, print money, global M2 and stuff out here. So that's why everyone, like everything I've just told you, that's the macro, that's Bitcoin's thesis since 2010. And why, like, hey, this is why I'm long Bitcoin for the next 20 years, since to 2030 to 2040. That's what it is. And that's why whenever we hit the tops of the cycles, all the Bitcoiners, this is why they say Bitcoin's going to 10 million. Bitcoin's going to millions of dollars. It's because they go, oh, the system's going to crack right now. But governments always find a way. They're like, we can push a few more buttons or we can delay it just a bit more. Okay, that's why, like, if you look at everyone, they're like, hey, you should have a stack of Bitcoin just in case one of those things end up being the final bubble prick. What was final bubble prick? Where they have to print so much money and they're scared things go out of hand and actually have to move everybody into the new system and everybody gets repriced. So that thesis, friends, you know, when you're looking at MicroStrategy and stablecoin super cycle and all of those come under that umbrella, you know? So you don't know what the narrative is going to be exactly. You don't know exactly which country is going to stop or start immigration. You don't need to know. All you know is there is a world trend. The world trend is every government, okay, they are faced with this dilemma. In all the first world countries, the rate of having a baby is dropping. Birth rates are collapsing to the floor. There's not enough people coming into the system. And now we need AI to come in. Because if AI agents can replace, then pretty much it's like basically a new economy. The problem is it's going to be a while. You know, it's gonna be a while to get these AI agents to replace actual human work. It's happening fast, but it's going to be a while. Until that point, you and I are left with the crypto cycle. Yeah. That's why when we say crypto to 10 trillion, that's what we actually mean, man. They're debasing and all of this stuff is happening at the same time. Okay, but when we do go euphoric, have some just respect, some fear, a bit of fear that, you know, because we're not in control, you know, and it's not even all humans controlling this stuff, right? And that they're not like, when you see like, friends, when you see like a 70-year-old dude in the government, you're like, oh, this guy's like gone in like 5 years. No, they're not. Like, they're controlling us on this big macro time. So there's always room for another bear market, always, when we go up, every single time. That's the number one mistake that people make, is they think, oh no, has to be the one where everything just blows up. No, it doesn't. So there you go, friends. You have the full macro scope here. Okay, as we look at all these, it's a good reminder to know that all these variables are throwing themselves out, but you know ultimately what it's all moving towards, right? They keep debasing and they're killing the system faster and faster. That's why all the money prints are going to get bigger and bigger. And yeah, and we also know, right, when we hit euphoria and you're seeing multi-billion-dollar public ICO raises, we just got to think, man, is there room for another bear market? There always is. Like, subscribe, belly button, all. Catch you soon.